O Brahman, O the limitless, O the boundless, O Paramatma, O Brahman, O the limitless, O the boundless, O Paramatma, O eternity, O cosmos, O Brahma. Lead us in your path, Brahma, lead us in the path of absolute justice. Lead us in the path of absolute truth and lead us in the path of absolute wisdom, Brahma. As you progress in meditation, if you are a beginner, I would not recommend that for you. But as you progress in meditation, as you establish your being with the rest of Brahman, as you establish your being in meditation, as you progress does not necessarily mean the daily basis, the regular progress. Follow me. Progress does not necessarily mean that the daily progress, but I'm talking about overall progress. As you progress overall in meditation, that's what we are talking about here. So, as we progress overall in meditation, as you progress overall in meditation, you can start, as you progress overall in meditation, you can start the mantra of Om. The mantra of Om basically is potent. The mantra of Om is the mantra that brings you close to the source. But remember something, any mantra or mantra of Om only and solely would work when you have silence around you while you are in the state of meditation, when you have silence around you and when you have silence within. This is what we understand as silence. Silence is not only the silence in the surrounding, but the silence within. Total and absolute silence, you know. There is no chattering box going on. There are no thoughts flying. There is no commotion within. There is what remains if there is no chattering box, if there are no thoughts flying, if there is no commotion within, what remains, I hope you are following me, what remains is the silence. You see, that's why it's important, significant to understand for to is significant to understand for all the beings that the silence is basically the fundamental state of the being. pure silence. That's why silence has so much significance, you understand? And what we do in meditation is to silence, is to achieve the silence within at least some time of the day. And when that happens, when you achieve the silence within at least some time during your day, what happens is it gives you energy. It rises you energy. You merge with the secret. You merge with divinity. And then it gives you energy. Your life energy gets higher, the prana, and everything feels very easy, including life that we are living. The problems we were thinking before were the problems. The problems we were thinking before were the problems. We realize those are not the problems anymore, you see, because we can see much, rather much clearly now. We can see the transparency of things. We can see that there is no such thing as death. So the fear is gone, basically. The fear is gone. Uh, the paranoia is gone. The self doubt is gone. Everything. These things are karma, and it can be accumulated with the passage of time in one carnation. These things are karma, and it can be accumulated with the passage of time further in one carnation. But with the transparency, with the clarity in our perception, clarity in our being, we can change the karma, but it requires determination. It requires determination, that you are determined. It requires devotion towards Kriya practice and Kriya Yoga and Kriya meditation. You see, everything comes down to practical. I have told you in last recent numerous retreats that time is very significant for me now. You see, and I am more than anything, more even than the words of truth and wisdom, I am stressing out basically on doing practical. When we sit like this, no bending over, no bending over, not leaning forward, when we sit like this attentive, at least for some time, and the accumulation we have gathered that we understand as body, we surrender this body in the infinite field of awareness, in the infinite field of consciousness, in the infinite field of God, at least for some time. You see, while we sit like this, you see, while we sit like this, attentive but comfortable, not even moving back and forth. Well, I have been in a state of meditation for last 2 hours or probably more. So that's the reason that I have established. I have been in the state of meditation for last 2 hours or probably more, and I have established my being with the sacred. Once the being is established, once you let go of the thoughts, once you learn not to board on the thought. Then you become established and merge with divine or sacred. Then you can sit attentive and give your gratitude to the most fundamental activity. The most fundamental, it is so fundamental, it is so natural, it is so generic that it is always overlooked. But it is the most significant activity too, which is our breathing. And we pay gratitude consciously to our breathing. That is the second step. That is the second step into establish the fundamental meditation. If you feel the compulsion, if you feel the compelling of thoughts, if you feel the compelling of objects around you, if you feel the mind wants to make sense out of the thought or the objects around you, then it is better, in order to achieve a sound and peaceful state of meditation, it is better to close your eyes, just like I am here. Let's be very aware. Let's be very, very aware of the mind. Let's be very aware of the mind. Let's remember that thought is not what mind does, but thought is what mind is. Thought is not what mind does, but thought is what mind is. When there is no thought present, there is no mind present. When there is no mind present, there is no time present. You see, mind or thought is always telling you something which refers the distance. Distance means time. But in all reality, in the reality of Brahman, in the reality of self-awareness, time is nothing but a marker. When you are in physicality, you can relate to time. Otherwise, as soon as you as soon as we lose the physicality, we realize that there is no time. The sense of timelessness, the sense of timelessness becomes very concrete and very real. Do not let the thought overcome on you, no matter how compelling the thought is. Mind would play tricks on you while you sit super silent. You know, super silent. I'm sure that you are learning. I'm sure that you are learning to be super silent. You see, it's good to be super silent. Shh. This is super silent. It's good to be super silent, you understand? And what happens is basically when you become super silent, then you reinforce your being, merging with the infinite field of awareness. Super silent within, not only around us, but within. Remember that. I keep stressing on that because it has significance. Let's be very aware of the thought. Let's be aware that nothing is going on. right now in this moment. Nothing is happening in this moment. Whatever the thought is telling me, it can wait. I have gone around the house. I have seen, I have checked that if everything needs my attention, or if everything, excuse me, if anything needs my attention, or if anything need to be attended, and I have made sure there is nothing which needs to be attended immediately. So this time is solely for myself, but not my thoughts, not the objects around me, not the people around me. You see, it would give you an excellent experience of Kriya meditation. That's what we are trying to achieve in this session. You bore on one thought. Let's be very aware of the thought. The thought may be very compelling. Like that rubber band. You remember the metaphor of rubber band that I use. So like that tight rubber band, like that brand new super thick tight rubber band. And when you pull the rubber band, you realize there is a tension between two fingers. And the tension is because of the rubber band. Now imagine one side of the rubber band is yourself, you the being, and the other side of the rubber band is the thought, and the rubber band itself is the tension. Now that creates a tension in, just like that creates a tension in our awareness, just like that it creates a tension in our being. But we are not going to be overwhelmed by this tension. We know the rubber band is very compelling. We know the rubber band is trying to pull what we essentially are, meaning the tension between the being and the thought. But we say this thought cannot sustain without me bringing my focus voluntarily on the thought. We realize that this thought cannot sustain without my focus. We realize no thought has existence of its own. We realize thought itself is abstract and does not exist in the nature, is the human intellect which is necessary to function in the society among fellow humans. But besides that, thought serves no purpose. Useless thought, useless mind has become so used to. It's a habit that we develop with the passage of time from everybody who came in contact with us. Everyone who came in contact with us hooked our attention towards something. Our mind was very fertile for the concepts. Our mind was very fertile for the ideas. Our mind was very fertile for the seeds, you see, and it happens to everybody, hence there is no one to blame. That time we were young and our mind was very fertile, but now we are grown up and we have a will. We have a free will, and by using our willpower, we can change the dream of humanity if we do not like what is going on. You see, this is pure truth. This is pure wisdom for you. That we can change if we do not like what is going on around. But change always starts from within. We do not go around and critically look at the human beings and say, this, she's bad, he's bad, she's bad, this is bad, that is bad, I am better. No, we do not do that basically. Accumulation might be different, but the being is the same, which is only one being, which is only one being. Being is the same. Shh. Read my lips. Watch my lips. Shh. Read my lips. Watch my lips. Shh. Being is the same. Being is not changing. There is only one being. There is only one vibration. From the point of view, excuse me, from the point of view of Brahman, from the point of, from the viewpoint, From the viewpoint of Brahman, there is just Brahman, the infinite field of consciousness, the infinite field of self awareness. From the viewpoint of the mind, from the viewpoint of the human intellect, from the viewpoint of you and me, which is rather illusion, Maya, that we are many, but there is no many. You see, Advaita, which is a Sanskrit word, it means one without a second. It means that there is only one being, that infinite field of consciousness. In meditation, we forget everything and we perceive through the perspective of Brahman. You see, what is meditation? In meditation, we forget everything. We forget the sense of individuality. We forget the thought process. We forget the ego, we forget the human intellect, we forget the cultural barriers, we forget the different type of barriers, we forget everything that we are identified, and that creates the whole edifice of our personality. We forget everything for some time and we become one. You see one, have you seen a one? We become one. We merge with the infinite field of consciousness. That is meditation itself. When you defocus from everywhere, when you even defocus from your memory and what you have learned, the entire edifice of knowledge, and you, my friend, you, my loved one, only focus, only and solely you focus on nothing. You defocus. What remains is a journal focus. What remains is a journal focus. This focus is not going in a direction, a dimension. You see, this focus, you are freeing your faith, you are freeing your focus, and you are maintaining a journal focus. That's how the life is. Life is happening all inclusive, not exclusive. While I am delivering all these words of truth and wisdom, I am still in a state of meditation and I am not using my human intellect or thought process or mind. I'm not. As I have mentioned that to you, that as I have mentioned that to you, that any time when I am in a profound state of meditation. Right now, I am not in so profound a state. However, even right now, I am in the state of meditation. I told you I only decided to deliver the words of truth and wisdom about the significance of meditation and doing practical only a few minutes ago. But I have been up for a long time and I not only I have been up for a long time, but I have been in a state of meditation for a long time. And I'm not using my intellect. And I'm delivering all the words of truth and wisdom. That's one of the benefits you gain while you perform meditation regularly. You become alert. The words of truth and wisdom, the unknown is made known to you. You know just about anything that there is to know. Don't fall for the compelling thought. You see, do not do not fall for the compelling thought. Do not fall for the compelling tight rubber band. Do not. But keep your distance from the thought, at least for some time. O Brahman, O Brahman, O the limitless, O Brahman, O Brahman, O the limitless, O the boundless, O the eternity. Lead us in your path, Brahman, O Brahman, lead us from darkness to light. O Brahman, lead us from untrue to true. O Brahman, lead us towards the infinite field of consciousness or self-awareness, you see.